Hi there. So this morning we will be talking about plants. Have you ever wondered sometimes what are these plants or what exactly do they even mean or what exactly do they do? So in this video we will try to uncover all of that. So ensure you stay true and you stay tuned. So what are plants? So plants are living beings and they grow all around us in the backyard, garden, find them in the walkway, almost everywhere. But we really have to understand how they do things, what exactly they do, and also if we have to care for them or not. Plants are actually alive because they're living things. Why? They move, they grow taller, so they could move from a particular height to another height. They grow, they also have younger plants. They produce seeds. So that means they are alive. And if they are alive, we must know how to care about them. So how do plants come about? Firstly, you have to put seeds in the ground and eventually, after days, after days, after days, weeks, months, it becomes this guy here. So it means a giant tree will first of all start from a tiny seed. And that's how plants grow. So it tells us that they are alive. Whatever grows has to be alive. And plants grow. So that definitely tells you they are alive. Now, if they are alive, how exactly do we need to care for them? We first of all have to know about them before we can care for them. So, what are those things that we need to know? We need to know what they do, we need to know everything about them so we're able to, properly handle them because you don't want to mistreat them and we'll eventually see why. So the first thing that we must find out is what are the parts of the plant. Now, if you see this, don't forget how we said plants will start. It will start from seeds, and the seeds will become, little sprouts, and eventually they will become the adult plant itself. Now, we're here. We said we have parts of plants. Now, there are four main parts of plants that we must know. And what are they? We have the roots, we have the stem, we have the leaves, and we have the flowers. So, what are the roots? Now, if you see this diagram here, you would see the labels of all these parts that we talked about. Look at the roots. This is the root here from this part to this part inside the ground. This is the stem, this long green thing. And of course, these are the leaves. And then you have the flowers here. This is like a sunflower plant. That's a beautiful sunflower plant, actually. Okay, so now the roots. What are the roots? So the roots are the parts of the plants that are not entirely visible to us. That means you don't really see them. And why don't you see them? Because they are inside the ground. Now, if you look at this plant here that we talked about earlier, right? There's no visible sign of the roots, right? There's no visible sign of the roots. They're just all inside the ground. The only thing you can see here is the seed. Now, if you're gonna compare this with our diagram here, you would only be able to see the leaves and the flowers and the stem. Let's look at it again. The leaves, right? The flowers and this guy, the stem. So you see, you can't really see the roots. You don't really see them. And why is that? Because they are inside the ground in the soil. But why are they inside the ground? What do they do there? Now, what they do is they hold up the plants in place. So that's the part of the plant that helps to hold the plant firm to the ground, to the soil. Now, they don't just hold the plants, they also take up water and nutrients for the plants. So it means when you put a seed inside the ground like this, so what happens when you put a seed inside the soil? So what happens? So this guy begins to look for nutrients inside the soil. What are nutrients? So nutrients are like those things that every plant needs to grow well. I mean, just like a human being, you have to properly eat and you have to properly eat some specific food in order for you to grow well. And the same thing applies to plants too. They have to properly take certain nutrients, and that's what will enable them to grow. And you see the roots. Now, the roots is that guy that is responsible for taking up for those nutrients. So just like the part of the plant inside the ground here, see the roots here? Now you see all those small parts that are extended. Those are the parts that it uses to capture water and it also uses to soak up nutrients from the soil. So they stay inside the ground to hold the plant and they soak up water and nutrients from the soil. Now the next will be the stem. So the stem is this long guy, this long green thing that stretches all the way from the roots to every other part of the plant. Now what does it do? It's that part of the plant that is responsible for holding the plant. It ensures the plant is able to stand strong. Just like the way you have bones in your body, and because of you have bones in your body, you're able to stand strong, move your hands, your legs, and all of that. So the stem also helps the plant to stay strong because it's important to stay strong so it won't fall and also so it could grow properly. And what else does it do? It also helps to carry water to other parts of the plant. So when the water is taken up in the root here, so the stem takes it up to other parts of the plant. So that's what the stem does. It takes up water and it takes it up to other parts of the plant. Now, another name for the stem could also be the trunk. So sometimes you could call it the stem, you could call it the trunk. It's talking about the same thing. And what majorly does it do? It supports the plant and it also carries water to the rest of the plant. Now we have the leaves. Yeah, later in this video, not this video particularly, but later on we will get to see more about the leaves. But for today, what we are learning about the leaves is that the leaves use the sunlight to make food for the plant. So because of the leaves, when the sun is out, the leaves are able to make food for the plants. So how does that happen? It's eventually a process that we're gonna learn later on, but for now, what we know is that whenever the sun comes out, you see the leaves are able to absorb energy from the sun, and that is how the plants make food every single day. That's how the plants make food every single day, because your leaves are able to take up energy from the sun. So we said we have the roots, right? What are the roots? The roots are in the soil. They help to what? They hold the plant and they soak up water and nutrients from the soil so that the nutrients can get to all parts of the plant. Then we have the stem or the trunk. What did we say is for again? We said it supports the plant so your plant won't fall, so your plants will stay strong, just like your skeleton in your body. And it also helps to carry water to other parts of the plant. So it carries water that has been taken up by the roots and it goes ahead to take it up to other parts of the plant. So we also said another name for the stem is the trunk. Again, we have the leaves. So we said the leaves, the parts of the plant that makes food for the plant. And how does it make this food? It makes this food with the help of sunlight. It's in a process that we would eventually see later on, not in this video, but in the subsequent ones. Um, so the leaves will take up energy from the sun. When the sun is out, the leaf draws energy from them, and that is how they're able to make food for the plants. And lastly, we also have the flowers. So just like every other living thing, it reproduces, it makes younger ones. And how, remember how we said a plant comes about? You would not get a plant if you do not have a seed. So you need a seed that will eventually grow into this guy. And that's where your flowers come in. So your flowers are the ones responsible for producing seeds. And why are producing seeds important? Producing seeds are important so you're able to have more and more of your plants. Because if you don't have seeds, you will not have more plants. And the flowers are responsible for producing seeds so that seeds can produce more plants. So let's take that again. So we said we have four main parts of the plant, right? We have the leaves, the roots, stem, and the flowers. The roots are found underground inside the soil. They hold the plants in place and they help to soak up water and nutrients, while the stem supports the plant and carries water to the rest of the plant. So the stem sets that guy that takes up water to the other parts of the plant, just like the way when you eat something and you need to swallow it before it gets to your stomach. So that part of you that takes the food from your mouth all the way down to your stomach, that's like the stem. And you have the leaves. You said the leaves make food from the sunlight for the plant. So when the sun comes out in the morning, the leaves draw up energy from the sun and they are able to make food for the plant. And lastly, we said we also have flowers. And what are flowers? Flowers are those parts of the plant that are responsible for making other plants actually, because they are the ones that produce the seeds. And we said you don't have a plant if you do not have a seed. You need a seed so you can have a plant, and the flowers are the parts of the plant that is responsible for making those seeds. So when we have more seeds, we can have new plants. When we have no seeds, we don't have any plants. So that's gonna be all for this video. So I will see you in the next video.